Without question, the Grizzlies wouldn't be considered one of the best teams in the league without players like Kosta Koufos coming in and giving their all. These roads are slick, they're treacherous, the snow continues to come down. It's pretty dangerous out here, so if you can, definitely stay inside. We Honor Our Veterans is a program that pairs combat veteran patients and combat veteran volunteers. It's a touching relationship that, as we discovered, benefits both sides. Not only am I having a bit of fun down here, you always have to have some fun, but we're also giving the gift of life. Now, during Local Memphis Live, I actually donated myself just to kind of prove how simple the process was. Everything from signing in at registration to going through those medical questions to the actual donation process took about 30 minutes. So that's how quick. I'm going to be the peacemaker. There's no fighting in here. Oh, no, Grizzlies. No, hey, I got it. No, we're plus, California West Coast in the house. Plus, Oakland, baby. Represent. Oh, now here's a true. For many, this is a celebration of a man's life, a celebration of a man's music, and many of the folks, both young and old, from in this country and outside of the country, just excited to be here. And I don't know if you guys can hear it off in the distance there, but the band is starting to play. We're told that about 25 procedures are done in these rooms weekly, and doctors tell us that they're pleased with these added tools and how they've helped to make their jobs more effective. And everyone here admits that they realize that officers face these dangers each and every day they hit the streets, but everyone admits that no one is ready for a day like this. It's going well so far, Joy. Surprisingly, we've had a lot of calls. The phone lines opened up at 6 a.m. Our volunteers are here answering some very important questions about colon cancer and colon cancer screenings. And folks are really engaged. 150,000 people here throughout tomorrow, so it should be an exciting time. And let me tell you, folks are already setting up the vendors, the restaurants. Everybody's excited. These are just some of the turkeys that have been donated since we've been here. So far, I have to pull them out of the freezer. It's kind of chilly in there. So, folks in the Mid-South, they've really been coming out, really been donating and giving back to the community. And again, we're only asking for $15 for one of these turkeys to really make an impact for somebody's life, for a family here in the Mid-South this holiday season.
Roger, Wing 25 out 1611 tracker.
This is the nerve center of Hospital Wing.
It's definitely a high-pressure situation. We are saving lives, and we want to get the assets to the locations as soon as possible.
The wing supplies aircraft for Regional 1, Baptist, Methodist, and the Petty Flight Team for Le Bonheur.
There's a lot that goes into checking off this aircraft. From the mechanic side and the pilot side, we have to make sure that the aircraft is pre-flighted correctly.
Safety, the crew tells us, is priority number one.
I've looked over, got my helmet, we're ready to go.
Miles Dunigan, Director of Safety, walked us through the checklist that has to be marked off before a team can even get off the ground.
Everything looks good. We're going to do a walk around, looking for anything out of the ordinary, anything that doesn't look right.
Dunigan took myself and photographer Clint Gyrus up for a flight around the Memphis Medical District for an exclusive look at how they operate high in the sky.
And this is Le Bonheur. We're eating up about 2.2 miles a minute, about 150 miles an hour.
That's critical when minutes matter most.
If you can get a trauma victim to a level 1 trauma center, and within that first hour of the event happening, their chances of surviving go up exponentially.
Hospital Wing provides emergency transport for an area that covers West Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Alabama, and Kentucky.
You're going in there hopefully to help them on what probably is the worst day of their life.
The overall mission, they tell us, is to provide compassionate care using the highest quality staff, following strict safety measures. For Dunigan, the work all boils down to making a difference when patients need it the most.
We're in the sanctuary of the New Dream Church downtown. This will be our sanctuary, seat about 350, 400 people.
It's fitting that we'd be speaking with Pastor Alfred Milan here.
Right here is our counseling area right here. So when people join our ministry and want to do some things, they'll be able to be counseled in here.
The old Memphis Machine Works building in downtown Memphis.
Excuse all the mess.
It's not much to it, a major rehab project.
We're excited about that.
For Milan, though, it's similar to his own story. A man once in ruins, now rebuilt.
And the reason why I think this is so important is I feel my life now. Many people can relate to that. They may be downtrodden in their life. Things may be bad. But as we're rehabbing this place, God has rehabbed me in the same way to make me a better person.
For 25 years, 25 long years, Milan was on the streets of Memphis, addicted to drugs, homeless, with no hope. It was a hard fall. Milan, a college graduate, actually earned 6 figures working in sales. An addiction to crack cocaine, took it all away.
As a matter of fact, I was at Morehouse College when I first started doing drugs, and actually it escalated from there and just simply went out of control. I lost a family, I lost my home, I lost my job, my education, and was really walking the streets of Memphis and really in a desperate place.
With extensive rehab and a renewed faith, he was able to turn it all around, eventually leading him to the pulpit.
Amen. You can't blame God for your bad choices and your bad decisions.
On Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings, you can find him here in the basement of the Crown Plaza Hotel in downtown, the temporary home of the Dream Church. His work not only includes spreading his faith, he hopes to give a hand up to those fighting with addiction and homelessness here in the Bluff City.
It really takes faith to do something like this, especially with my kind of background. You know, people have their eyes up, kind of thinking about your background, but that's what God does. He takes nothing and make it something.
His vision has led him to the South 2nd Street property. This will be the Dream Church's new house of worship and outreach center.
Everybody knows where this church will be. They know where it is.
He also wants to create a job center and other ministries aimed at helping those in need.
And our goal is to really make it be a light in downtown Memphis for Christ. That's what our goal is, to be a light for him in downtown.
We met with a few of the men he's assisted over the years, like Arthur Arnold and Robert Prince. Both have spent years fighting their demons in the streets. Today, they're clean, gainfully employed, on track to regaining all addiction took away.
I now have my own place to live. I'm back working. I have communication with my kids and grandkids now, and life's just been great.
I was just lost, and I really needed a way out, and I didn't know how to get out. But once God led me to my great pastor, his teaching, and he's showing me the ability how to become a real man one day at a time, it's been fantastic. Really fantastic.
For those of us who have made some mistakes, ain't you glad for his grace?
Pastor Milan wants his story to serve as two things: a cautionary tale and an inspiration, a symbol that with faith, hope is never lost.
There's no perfect person in here, but God's grace is sufficient. There's a great scripture that says, what the enemy meant for evil, God has turned it around for my good. I never thought that all of my negativity, all the hurt that I've been through, all the time that I prayed to God, why me? I never thought I could use all that now for compassion for others in our city to really make a difference when I know the city really needs something, a light in the city. And man, I'm excited to be that light and I'm thankful to be able to help many people.
Rodney Dunigan, Local 24 News.
Yeah, I'm here. 321, 321.
Passion and high energy. Those are the first things you notice when you catch Local 24 Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams giving the daily forecast.
32 degrees by 3 o'clock.
Paul also has another deep passion outside of the Local 24 Weather Center. Since his mid-30s, he's been an avid weightlifter.
The harder I push myself, the more it makes me feel, invigorated.
There you go, big squeeze, big squeeze.
One day my wife said, you know what, you seem kind of fat. And that was, it snapped just that quick for me.
One more, let's go.
Since that day, physical fitness has been a part of his lifestyle, hitting the gym at least 4 times a week. At only 46 and with no family history of heart problems,
Come on, 2 more, let's go.
the thought of having a heart attack never crossed his mind.
Finish it out, Paul, let's go, let's go.
That is, until the day it happened. Out of all places, the gym during a CrossFit class.
We get started, it's 5 minutes into the class. All we're doing are ropes. I'm just doing ropes, right? Just doing ropes. All of a sudden, I'm holding a rope, and my left arm loses strength totally, and I cannot lift up the rope.
He knew right away something was wrong.
I'm saying to myself, so since I've never lost strength in my arms, I'm going to the hospital right now, and I'm not waiting on the ambulance. I don't have much time. I need to go now.
Turns out the years of working out and staying active couldn't compete with his high-sodium diet, packed with canned foods and packaged meat. The result, 99% blockage in one artery of his heart and 100% in another. Dr. Steve Gubin with the Stern Cardiovascular Center says it's those underlying risk factors we all need to look out for.
Some things you can do about what we call modifiable risk factors are like high cholesterol, hypertension, smoking, diabetes, physical inactivity.
Consider these numbers. Every year, about 715,000 Americans have a heart attack. About 600,000 people die of heart disease in the U.S. every year. And heart disease is the leading cause of death for both men and women. Doug Blankenship, like Paul, is one of the lucky ones.
My father died at 42. I was 44. So I had that awareness.
He suffered a heart attack this past November. Since then, he's made numerous lifestyle changes.
I feel like we're on the right track now, doing the right things, taking care of myself, medication, exercise, diet, comprehensive approach, and to give myself the best chance going forward.
Dig, there you go.
Paul has made a number of changes as well. Fried foods are out, and he's keeping close tabs on his sodium intake. He's already back in the gym trying to get in fighting shape, so to speak, and he has a bit of a warning for folks not looking out for their heart health.
If it can happen to me, you better believe it can happen to you.
Words of healthy motivation for all of us. Rodney Dunigan, Local 24 News.
That's right, and the fraternity has a deep commitment to the community, and they hope to keep Dr. King's memory alive by simply giving back.
It is an awesome point to stand here. I can still remember the day that Martin Luther King was assassinated.
For Daryl Arbor, this moment is almost like reliving a piece of history.
The simplicity of the room, but it provided the basic things that were needed. And sometimes I think we get so caught up in the fringes and the bling that we realize that we really need the basic things in life to really have a powerful impact on others.
Just looking at this room, imagining Dr. Martin Luther King's last meal, his last conversation, his last thoughts.
That's empowering to me. That's overwhelming. That's one of our reflaying ceremonies that we did here at the museum.
Arbor, like Dr. King, is a man of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity.
I am way here in the back.
Founded in 1906, it's known as the first black Greek-lettered fraternity. Part of the frat's aims, love for all mankind. Their motto, first of all, servants of all, we shall transcend all. Something Arbor says Dr. King reflected in every part of his life.
It's challenging us to remember that we are to be servants to our local community.
Dr. King was initiated in the Sigma chapter of the fraternity by way of Boston University in 1952. These photos, small snapshots of the time Dr. King spent with his fraternity brothers. In an effort to keep Dr. King's life's work alive, the fraternity has established a number of service projects aimed at giving back, making an impact in communities not only here in Memphis, but across the country.
On a personal note, it feels good to know that you're giving back.
One of their initiatives is Project Alpha. It consists of a series of workshops and info sessions aimed at providing teens with guidance on life skills and pregnancy prevention. We visited one of those sessions just this week. Kenneth Carpenter spearheaded this project.
This is just part of the mission of the fraternity, and we try to reach out.
The brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha were also instrumental in the campaign to erect the MLK Memorial in the nation's capital. They established a foundation to manage fundraising for the memorial's construction, a tribute to a brother who not only had a major impact on their organization, but this country as well.
I'm always remember all the doors that were open because of things that those who were involved in the civil rights movement have done.
For Arbor and his brothers, honoring Dr. King's life of service is not simply about remembering the past, but moving that agenda forward, pushing for a positive change.
As I always say, there were doors that I was able to walk through. I didn't have to knock down. But my challenge is to make sure that I keep those doors open so youth and others that are following me can also have those opportunities to be the most that they can.
Theme of today, moving freedom forward. And you can see that's what the fraternity Alpha Phi Alpha, that's what they hope to do, move Dr. King's agenda. He may not be here, but his agenda obviously of peace, of love, of giving back to the community, that's what this organization does every day, and that's what they hope to continue with their younger members. You know, so 40 years down the line, we can say the same thing.
We Honor Our Veterans is a program that pairs combat veteran patients and combat veteran volunteers. It's a touching relationship that, as we discovered, benefits both sides.
I wanted to do something that would contribute and make a difference to veterans. Mo, how are we doing?
Rodney Fowler knows the true importance of sacrifice. The Air Force vet spent nearly 40 years in military service. He lives by the lessons his father taught him so many years ago.
This country doesn't owe you anything, but you owe it everything. And that's just my creed from the very beginning.
He's giving back now through the We Honor Our Veterans program here at Baptist Reynolds Hospice House in Collierville. The program pairs combat vets. The idea is to form a friendship and a family for the patients, many of whom may not have much family left.
It's just a way for us to say thank you.
The presence of somebody who knows what they went through. Somebody can appreciate the sacrifice they made.
One of the more touching parts of this program is the pinning ceremony. Each patient is pinned with an American flag.
You spent a few years of your life
a small honor for those who've given so much.
Fighting for a flag.
Fowler has become fast friends with Army veteran Leonard Rogers.
That means a great deal to you and I.
We were privileged enough to be allowed in for this touching ceremony.
I'm going to put this pin on you.
One last honor for heroes like Rogers, and a thank you from other vets like Fowler.
You know, it seems that he's lived a good life. He was loyal to his God, he's loyal to his country, he was loyal to his family. And the best thing to be said, he's a good man. And in a very short period of time, he was a good friend.
Here inside the chapel at the hospice house, this encased American flag is draped over the casket of every military vet that leaves here. One more honor for those who gave so much for this country. Rodney Dunigan, Local 24 News.